Jimmy was not a rapper then.
Right.
He was your man, like on the side, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
Yeah, I just seen the Breakfast Club. Jimmy be popping all that bullshit. I be seeing Jimmy talking about, we Gucci boo boo. He in the Gucci store. Talking about, we Gucci boo boo. The Black King niggas was going fuck up. Jimmy, they was like, Marita Moneda. Fuck Coca-Cola.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing.
When 50 Cent sends a warning, the whole rap world stops and listens. And this time, Jim Jones is standing in the line of fire. It all popped off when Jim got slick in an interview, throwing shade at 50 and questioning if he's really about that life. He said something like, a lot of these dudes be acting tough for the cameras. We know who really outsides. And that one line had the internet exploding. Fans immediately caught the target. If there's one rapper who's built his empire off being both successful and street verified, it's Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. And trust me, 50 doesn't take disrespect lightly. Within hours, he clapped back in pure 50 style, not a diss track, not a wild rant, but with a cold, calculated post on Instagram that sent chills across the game. He wrote, some of y'all better chill before I remind the city what really happened. No names, no tags, but the timing, the tone, the caption, it was screaming, Jim Jones, watch yourself. Fans instantly flooded the comments with lines like, 50 bout to air somebody out, and Jim better relax before 50 drops receipts. And if there's one thing everyone knows about 50, when he says remind the city, he's talking real life stuff most rappers pray never comes out. 50 plays chess, not checkers. Every move calculated, every word loaded with purpose. So when 50 sends a message like that, it ain't a joke, it's a straight up warning shot.
He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally, he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew, I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was going to go for it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam. Then you got to watch and see how he responds. And then when you see, he like, oh, he really like that. Like, give me this, give me Jimmy. Yeah, tell him we want him. We want you at the show, Jimmy. Yeah, but that was one of those things I just threw it out and see what. And then when he bit to it, because it was like he was having a moment that not sure that was going to ever happen again at that point. And then he's going, for them, they had records that where, look, I always said it's a certain artist, I go, damn, when is he going to have his moment? Like Fab, I said this.
Like Fab? Exactly. That line went viral instantly. Hip-hop pages, blogs, fan accounts, they all blew it up nonstop, saying 50 had entered full villain mode again. Even people close to Jim were allegedly telling him to cool it because, see, this isn't just another rap beef, there's history here. 50 and Jim have been circling each other for years, from the old Dipset versus G-Unit days, to industry politics, to street whispers that run way deeper than music. But here's the twist, it ain't 2005 no more. 50's not just a rapper now, he's a mogul, a TV boss, a media machine. When he speaks, millions listen. That warning didn't just hit Jim, it shook the whole culture. People were like, damn, 50's got more power now than ever. And Jim, still out here talking reckless? That's why this feels different. 50 ain't moving like a rapper, he's moving like a man who could bury someone's rep with one single post. So yeah, Jim might have thought it was just another slick comment for the gram, but when 50 responded, the whole vibe changed. It went from jokes to, wait, what does 50 really know?
I recently saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy
big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying, Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
so to be compared,
let me
that young kid out.
He was young, and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade.
And when that question starts buzzing in hip hop, you know something serious might be about to drop next. To get why this warning hit so hard, you gotta rewind to the roots of the G-Unit versus Dipset tension. Back in the early 2000s, New York ran the rap game. On one side, you had 50 Cent and G-Unit. On the other, Cam and Dipset, two massive movements, each repping their own corners of the city. Both were kings in their lanes, but the competition was real. And even though it never blew up into full-on war, there was always that undercurrent of ego, pride, and low-key rivalry. Jim Jones, as Dipset's loudest voice, often inserted himself into the mix, constantly reminding everyone that Harlem's energy was different from Queens. But 50's track record speaks for itself. He built an empire from nothing, surviving shootouts, label battles, and industry politics. He didn't need to brag about being real. He lived it. That's why fans always saw Jim's comments as jealousy, because deep down, everyone knows 50 earned every stripe on his chest. Fast forward to now, 50's a multi-millionaire running hit shows like Power and BMF, expanding his brand worldwide. Meanwhile, Jim is still chasing headlines, throwing shots at other rappers, trying to stay relevant. That's why 50's warning felt more like a boss talking to an employee than a rapper dissing another rapper. It was pure, know your lane energy.
So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. We talking about 94, 93, I was in 11th grade. Nigga, it's 2025. There's a big gap there, you know what I mean? And I want people to understand that, so when Shorty's telling people that, yeah, he's 20-some years old, that goes to show the part of the era that he's in, that I came into light and started going crazy, that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them, some of them though. But
you know what I mean?
A lot of them though.
Insiders say this wasn't just some random post. 50 had been hearing Jim's slick comments for months, shade thrown at Mace, Cameron, and now 50. Jim's been poking at too many people from the same tree, and it's finally catching up to him. Online, people started calling him Harlem's noisy neighbor, saying he talks more than he raps these days. The real issue? Jim's out here trying to prove something that doesn't need proving. He keeps reminding everyone that he's outside, that he's real Harlem, but in 2025, that street flex don't move the needle like it used to. The culture's evolved. Now it's about moves, not mouth, and that's where 50's dominance shines. When he posted that warning, fans said it felt like a flashback, like old Get Rich or Die Trying 50 had come back for a brief, deadly moment. The tone, the confidence, the mystery. It reminded everyone why 50's name still carries fear. He's not the type to argue, he's the type to pull files. And when he said, remind the city, people started whispering because everyone knows 50's got deep connections all over New York. Jim's response? Silence. No post, no clap back, no live stream. That alone spoke volumes. When 50 calls you out and you go quiet, it ain't peace, it's pressure. And right now, Jim's feeling every bit of it after that warning went viral.
But I hear the comparisons and then Nick be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this. I'm talking about the industry. I've been putting on. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I gotta show you the statistics of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. You heard them. You wanna go to the Billboard entries, pull up Nas Billboard entries, then pull up my Billboard entries.
Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is
I wanna go there. I wanna go down the line now, because now we going down the line. He's a rapper and I'm a rapper.
Listen,
let's go statistically.
It feels great.
No, but I wanna go statistically, because when people be like,
I feel the same way. We all feel the same way.
And forget about the numbers. My numbers back up.
Let me step up to the forefront.
The internet started digging up the history between these two, and that's when the story got even deeper. Rumors have been floating for years about tension between 50 and Jim going beyond music. Street deals that never happened, alliances that got messy behind the scenes. Nobody ever confirmed it publicly, but 50's Remind the City line had everyone thinking he was hinting at something major. Fans went wild with speculation. Some said it was about old Harlem street ties. Others pointed to past label politics when 50 and Cam were beefing. Remember back in the day, Cam and 50 had that legendary on-air argument on Hot 97, and Jim was always backing Cam. Even after years passed, that energy never died. 50 moved on, but Jim kept the tension alive in interviews. Now it feels like karma finally caught up. People say Jim should have left 50's name alone, especially knowing how petty and calculated he can be. This is a man who's embarrassed rappers, CEOs, even billionaires online. Nobody's safe, from Ja Rule to Diddy. Once 50 decides you're a target, he'll keep exposing you until you tap out. And if history repeats itself, Jim might be next in line. The wild part? 50 didn't even have to say much, just that one post sent waves across the industry. Rappers unfollowing, bloggers digging up old clips of Jim talking reckless, and the internet buzzing nonstop.
Put it to you like this, Jim. Hey, bro, you been in this thing, but lyrically, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Yeah,
Y'all
but look
ain't
how you
effing with
dress.
Nas.
Look how you dress. You don't even be in the same places I be in. And the
But
things
I-
that we, the listen to
I
me,
can be in the church house. You can't F with Nas lyrics. I don't know who told you that. Now look, I know you on that good stuff, but you're not seeing Nas.
Bro,
You're
it's a
not
bunch of
seeing
40
Nas, bro.
you got a bunch of
Let's be
40 and
real.
50 You got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds in their panties because I said I'm better
It
than
don't
Nas.
matter.
Look at you. Look at you.
Nobody from Dipset gonna take you over Nas.
Even some of Jim's Harlem peers went quiet. It's like everyone's waiting to see if 50's about to pull another exposure moment. And trust me, if he does, it's gonna break the internet. A few days later, fans noticed 50 deleted that post, which only made people more suspicious. When 50 deletes something, it usually means he's planning something bigger or already making moves behind the scenes. Silence is his strategy, and he's a master at it. That's the difference between 50 and most rappers. They talk for clout, he moves for effect. Meanwhile, Jim's still keeping quiet, but people close to him say he's unbothered. Hard to believe, though, because once 50's involved, even silence feels like tension. Every podcast, every tweet, every little quote gets twisted into speculation.
Coming up and things like that.
I've heard you say that.
Since the barbecue and things like that, like he really put the whole dope boy rap, crack hustler, get fresh rap into perspective before anybody else. Before I heard Jay do it, before I heard anybody else, like he changed the cadence of rap into a whole different steam. Like he's the one that broke the camel's back when it came to artists like, to me, when it came to artists like Big Daddy Kane and all these artists that came right before him. Like after Nas came with that, they started to fade out, and then Jay, Fat Joe, like all of these rappers that are spitting about the life that we was really starting to live right now and how it was changing. Like this is, you know what I mean? So that's how I felt about that whole little situation.
Fans are waiting for the next shot. And here's the thing, it's not just about music anymore, it's about pride. Jim Jones built his whole image on being tough, Harlem's loudest voice. But now the internet's calling him the man who woke up 50 Cent. And that's not a good look. When you wake 50, he doesn't just clap back, he moves and everyone feels it.
Diplomats know nobody else. Me, Jim Jones, check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them entries. And like if you want to go to the billboard entries, pull up Nas billboard entries, then pull up my billboard entries.
Can we address one thing though?
Go ahead.
Jim Jones has 9 entries in the Billboard 200 with 3 top 10 albums and no number ones, while Nas has 27 entries, 16 top 10 albums, and 6 that have reached number 1 on the Billboard 200.
Right now, 2025, I'm in the game still rapping at a high capacity. If Nas wants to smoke, come in the booth. I will rap
You don't
circles
want no
around.
smoke.
Jim Jones is rapping at a high capacity right now in 2025. I'm on record as saying I think some of the best music that's been coming out of New York in recent years has been from Jim Jones. I haven't seen Nas in that mode. Nas still makes great music at a high level. I just haven't seen Nas in that, let's get active, getting at each other mode.
Now that 50's warning went viral, the question everyone's asking is, what happens next? Will he really expose something, or is this just his way of putting pressure on Jim to back off? Either way, the message is clear. 50 Cent doesn't play when it comes to respect, and he made it obvious that certain names shouldn't be speaking on him without permission.
Jim Jones went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's. Oh, look, a topic and a topic. Yeah. He went on Fat Joe and Jadakiss's podcast and had a lot to say about some dude on the internet that said Jim Jones is better than Nas and has more Billboard hits than Nas.
It was a young kid. I believe he was like 23 or something, 22, 23. And he was saying that for his generation, his era, they don't look at Nas. And a lot of people took offense to that. I personally did not take offense just because of the kid's age, of the generation.
It's like a sports conversation. Like the numbers are the numbers. But in New York City with rappers, we don't necessarily go by that.
Yes, Travis Scott is the bigger act, more hits, more numbers, more. But to the rappers, don't nobody give a about what Travis Scott is talking.
What's up with that Jim Jones, man?
Hip hop, of course, is a competitive sport.
But on the other end of it, it's like certain people shouldn't be able to say your names until they done something in the genre of music. I've done too much in this music to even have to answer that question. Like Jim Jones, who is Jim Jones? Like, he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's like no one's top 10 list. Maybe not even his family. I was saying last night, it's like the 8th guy on the bench just screaming at Jordan, like, you a bum. Like, you want to be like the 9th guy on the bench. I'm not even worried about you.
See, 50's not just an artist anymore. He's a global brand, an empire. Every time his name gets dragged into low-level drama, he treats it like a business move. He'll clap back, but in a way that makes headlines, boosts his projects, and keeps his dominance locked in. That's the difference between him and Jim. 50 turns tension into profit, while Jim turns it into problems. Fans online started comparing their careers side by side, and the difference was clear. 50's been rich for 2 decades, still relevant, still respected, still feared. Jim's been grinding, but his biggest moments lately come from interviews, not hits.
I'm still here. From whatever you painted the picture to me to being a hype man, or he wasn't the best rapper, or he just started to get whatever you want, a narrative you want to paint. You still got to listen to me talking to you right now in 2025. What I did for Nas probably never been done for him in his life. He's never been that viral at all, ever. He's never been talked about like this ever in his life. The last time he was in some shit like this where people were comparing is when him and Jay was beating on him.
That's why fans said this whole situation exposed a bigger truth. Jim's chasing validation while 50 already owns it. And the wildest part, some fans think 50's warning wasn't just for Jim. It was a message to the whole industry, a reminder that even in 2025, he still controls the narrative whenever he wants.
I wasn't in the ad because of look, Jay-Z and them was putting it together. Mm-hmm. So I think they still harbor some energy towards me.
You think you were purposely left out of the ad?
No. I don't think. I think that they were saying the NFL has some issues with me that I don't know what those issues are. Like, what is the issue? You see what I'm saying? Like, and I with M, because like with Nori he had communication. He said, yeah, I talked to the big homie. He was saying to Jay, he was telling me, you know, the white boy wouldn't do the truth without 50, right? And I'm like, that's when I start saying crazy stuff, because I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so he imaged himself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Oh my God, I think I know where we're going with
So
this.
now look, what I'm saying to you is, look, when you start looking at, that's not mine, that's theirs, they're Harper, right? But when you look at, M is looking at the entire legacy.
Yeah. One cryptic line from 50 can shake the internet for a week straight. That's real power. Jim, on the other hand, now has the whole world watching his next move. If he claps back, 50's gonna unload. If he stays quiet, he looks soft. It's checkmate either way. That's why people say 50 plays chess with beef. He's always 3 moves ahead. Even celebrities started chiming in. Jim better let that one go, because everyone knows 50 doesn't forget. He waits, gathers intel, and strikes when the timing's perfect. So yeah, 50's warning went viral for a reason. It wasn't just a post, it was a statement. A reminder that some names still carry power in this game, and some rivalries never truly died. 50's message was simple. Don't play with me. He's built too much to entertain clowns, and now the whole hip-hop world is watching. Will Jim Jones defend his pride or stay quiet before 50 turns that warning into a full-blown expose? One thing's for sure. When 50 says, I'll remind the city, you better believe he's holding something heavy.